Alrighty, folks. How is everybody doing? Let me pull up the camera. Let me show you my face. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in, welcome in. It's good to see all of you folks back for episode 2 of the science fiction badges operation here on Graphic Glow Up. Thank you all for joining me. Thank you all for sticking around after the previous stream. And how's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Where are you guys tuning in from? If you folks are over on the YouTube channel, please come over to behance.net because that is where I'm going to be reading the chat. My name is VooDoo Val, and for those of you who have maybe never seen this show, I'm going to be your host and creator for Graphic Glow Up, and this is the show where we explore all of Adobe's free resource sites and use all of the resources that we find that we gather each week to create kind of a fictional project. It is also a study in sort of appreciating ourselves, giving ourselves kudos, and really looking at the progress that we make every day in our art journey. And acknowledging the progress that we're making, acknowledging the great things that we're doing, even if those things don't directly hinge on posting a finished project. Just kind of learning to give ourselves kudos instead of worrying constantly about, are we doing this well enough? Do we have a finished portfolio piece to post after we create something? And not agonizing over retweets and likes and favorites on social media, but just looking at the core truth of what we're actually doing. Because I don't know about you, but I get caught up in that all the time. So this is a safe, awesome space where you can come and grow and not worry so much, okay? Christelle, welcome in. Adriana, welcome in. Tanya, hello. Gareth, General Kenobi, hello there. Steve Festus Casaboom, man with the name, welcome in. Honestly, Steve Festus Casaboom, you might have some competition. Tanya Bollinger-Wempner? I don't know if I pronounced that right, but that is a heck of a name, and I think it's exactly as long as Steve's name. You guys are like champion names in the chat. Those are awesome names. Robert, welcome in. Biola, Karamat, welcome in. Kara, Derek. I see so many awesome, familiar folks in the chat, and I also see some new faces. So welcome in. But what I'm going to do real quick is I am going to kind of pop over to what we worked on yesterday. As I said, we've been doing science fiction badges. I'm going to show you what we worked on yesterday. We're going to start kind of solidifying our concept and design, and then we're going to get into kind of painting it up and also testing out some new color palettes and things, which I'm excited about. We might jump in and grab a font because we're going to need a font for this, and I don't think I want to illustrate our lettering by hand. I think I want to find like a good science fiction font for our project today. And then we are going to have our weekly achievements ceremony, which I will kind of preview for you real quick before we dive into our work. So one of the things that we did yesterday was I set up my goals for the week. So if you folks scroll down below the video player, you will see that there's a link there where you can download some assets that I have for you. You've got 2 assets there, plus all of the files and things that I've included from past episodes if you'd like to get in and look at my project files. But the goals page basically is just a nice visual representation that you can fill out while you are working along with me on these episodes, or just in your own personal art life, you know, if you'd like to use this for your own personal projects. I like to set a personal, professional, and future goal at the beginning of each project we do here, and keep track of what I'm doing according to my goals. So yesterday I decided I wanted to become more comfortable designing with simple shapes. It's not something that I do constantly. I'm predominantly a painter and illustrator. I work with a lot of very small, fine details, And so designing with simple shapes can sometimes be a little bit daunting because it's the opposite of what I do. And I would also like to combine different genres into one piece. So we're creating a badge here, and I'd like to make something that is very serious, you know, but I also want to use some fun colors and textures to kind of get that serious and that fun and kind of bring them together. So those are my personal goals for our projects this week. As far as professional, I would like to use this project as practice to work towards getting a badge design gig. I've never had somebody pay me to design a badge, and it's not something that I have ever accepted a job for because it's not something I do constantly, but I really love badges, and I'd like to be able to offer that as a service professionally. And my future goal is I really love looking at other people's case studies of badge collections that they've designed. And I'd like for this to be maybe the first in a collection that I put together for my own collection of badges. So I'm working towards that. And that's not something that has to get done right now, but that's the ball I'm keeping my eye on, okay? So those are the goals I've set for myself this week. And we also have an achievements page, which we're going to be getting into. And I realized yesterday when I opened this page up, I had opened a previous version of it. I've been keeping track of my points that I have been awarding to myself over the weeks. And yesterday it was not accurate, but this is the one that I have been using. So I've updated that. When you get this achievements page, it will look blank for you if you've never opened it before. And basically the way this works is we have 5 categories here: illustration, graphic design, animation, video editing, and presentation. You can change these if you want to add different genres, different avenues of creativity that you prefer. But basically every week I look at the work that I have created and I award myself some achievement points in each of these categories based on things that I have achieved. And it does not matter if I finish the projects. It does not matter if I have a finished portfolio piece at the end when I start to award myself points. What matters is, we'll take into consideration this tip I have at the bottom. You deserve to earn points when you try things for the first time and or when you create something you are proud of. Get into the habit of appreciating the little things, moments in which you grow, not just complete. So I've awarded myself points sometimes when I tried something new, or when I tried something that was totally out of my comfort zone and maybe it wasn't a successful avenue of creativity, but I got over my fear and just tried to do something. You know, those are the things that we are awarding ourselves points for. And you can make this page for yourself using my template in the link. You don't ever have to show this to anybody. This is just for you so that you can have a visual representation of the wonderful progress you make in your own journey, and not just look at how many likes on social media you're getting or how many things you have in your portfolio to judge your own worth as a creative. So now, what did we do yesterday? Let me dive in here. I'm going to pop over here real quick. So we decided we were going to create badges, and I've got my notes here where we were talking about which planets we're going to use, possible planets we were going to adventure to, because we're making this badge as kind of a badge that commemorates a space expedition, fictional space expedition, or you folks could do that, or you could do a fictional space station, you know, a badge for that, whatever you'd like to do. And we ended up going with Saturn, which is crazy because Tatooine and Mustafar are on here, and you know I'm a big Star Wars fan. So I'm surprised I didn't choose Star Wars stuff, but we went with Saturn. We kind of chose a few different spaceship names, and I think we're going to go with the USS Destiny. And then we started doing some sketches here, so I'm going to actually group some things together real quick. I'm going to group those and hide this and kind of look at a lot of our sketches we did. We were noodling around until I kind of came upon this shape, which I thought was interesting. And then I pulled it over here and we started kind of breaking the borders of our sketch with the ring of Saturn and the asteroids, like shooting stars. comets, if you will. And then before we signed off yesterday, we created a little more of a solid design for this. And I did come in here and add like some really cool design kind of textures to the planet itself, which I'm gonna solidify a little bit more today, because I feel like that adds like a little extra oomph to it, right? And then if I can, real quick, I'm gonna make a new layer just to show you some of my thought process behind this. Make sure I've got look at like let me get my Blocko brush real quick, because this is a good brush for sketching. So one of the things that I'm trying to keep in mind here, like as far as creating like a dynamic badge, is we have these, you know, these wiggly lines going across this way, in this direction, and these, as we solidify this design today, are going to be layered hues of colors, layered values, so from dark to light or light to dark. And then we have like the same sort of let me grab like a blue color. We have the same sort of wigglies on the planet going this way, you know, so we have kind of contrasting wigglies, if you will. That is the professional definitely the industry standard phrase for that, contrasting wigglies. So we have that, and then we also have, you know, our comets that are kind of coming from one direction, that are all like slanted exactly the same, and then our Saturn ring follows that. So it's like all pulling in the same direction here, in a very dynamic way, and it breaks the borders of our badge in a way that I think is very pleasing to the eye. I was thinking that we might even add an extra right here, like a smaller comet, like kind of make the tail of that a little bit longer, just to add something that breaks the border a little bit here, but not so far as that one. You know, we want it kind of in, but I think that looks really cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up, and I'm going to start painting in some textures, and we are going to use our colors. Contrasting wigglies, you know, Megan, contrasting wigglies. Not the USS Reluctant. Graphic design goodness from VooDoo Val, just what I needed in my afternoon. Talon! What is going on, my friend? How have you been? It's good to see you in here. How's life treating you? All right, let's go ahead and clean this up, shall we? Let's make this real pretty. I'm gonna come in and duplicate our triangle right here, because I'm gonna use this triangle. And let's leave that one there. Let's bump this one up. And I'm gonna kind of keep my eye on our original concept here, but I'm gonna make kind of a bigger version of our badge. So I'm gonna just center that right there. I'm gonna come in with all of these other things here. I'll group that. I'm gonna call this concept. And I'm going to transform that and put that up in the corner like so. And then I'm gonna hide everything else, okay? Because we're just going to, we're gonna look right here, keep track of what we're doing. Boom, there we go. I'm thinking too, like, cause this all comes out here and we don't have, I don't know if the fact that the Saturn ring only comes out that one side makes that left side look strange, but we're gonna find out. We're gonna noodle with it. Also an industry standard phrase, noodling with things. You know, the pro terms. Okay, so here's our badge shape that we're gonna be working with, and now we're gonna kind of jump in with our pen tool and start really souping things up. Also an industry standard phrase, when you soup the stuff up, right? I need to write like an industry professional phrase book for those of you moving into a creative professional career. These are the things you gotta know. This is it. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a shape. We're gonna clip some shapes to this that are like our wigglies in the back. So I'm going to just start to kind of, there we go. I don't know if that's good enough though. Let's see. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make it straight across first. That's easier. Boom. There. Boom. 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 And then I'm going to bring it down. So we got some wigglies, and I am going to Control T just to transform that, and we're going to kind of position this. And can I bring that out? I don't know if I should. Also, this one point is a little bit strange here, and I need to alter that. Let's kind of just to straighten that out. Let's see, how does that look? That's a little smoother. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and, oops, no, not that. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna grab the shape. I'm gonna position this here. And you'll notice I'm not actually putting like the entire thing here, and I don't really want to, because I'm gonna move this around in different positions because I want all these wigglies to be a little bit different. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna come in here and kind of click this because I want this to be brought down here. There we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and create clipping mask. Okay, and we may alter this just a little bit. Oops. Can I? I'm going to move that this way, I think. There we go. Okay, now create clipping mask. Clip. And I'm gonna duplicate this, and I'm gonna, I think, let me escape. I'm gonna duplicate that, and I'm gonna put it underneath. And I am going to change its fill color real quick just to something different. And we're gonna probably change these colors eventually, but then I'm gonna move this here, and I'm gonna throw a wiggly right there, okay? It's starting to look cool. It's starting to look neat. And then we are going to duplicate this again, and we'll throw that underneath. Let me make sure all these are staying clipped. And we're gonna grab this, we're gonna throw this wiggly maybe like so, okay? And I am going to just drag that over there, and we'll change the fill color on this. Boom, and then we will maybe change the fill color here to something even lighter. Can we do that? In fact, actually I don't think so, because I changed that a little bit, so I'm going to paint bucket in an even brighter color, maybe something like that. Okay, now I need to change these colors, because these aren't the exact colors we're going to use, but that's like our little wiggly background. Loving the on-brand purples. Well, we have, very educational, yeah. Glad I jumped in for all these technical terms. Yes, indeed. So we do have a color palette, several color palettes here, and I don't think we're gonna stick with the purple. I just love purple, so we're painting with purple. But we are gonna kind of try to choose one of these, and we might alter just a little bit, but we're gonna test out some of this stuff. I'm gonna leave it purple for now, though, because I don't want to, I actually want to change this to just like slightly lighter. I am gonna leave this for now, however, because I think that I don't need to be getting so precious with it so early on. We need to make sure that I can get all this together before the end of the stream. So I'm gonna go ahead and group that if I can, and I'm gonna call this badge base, okay? And in fact, I'm gonna delete this, delete. I am going to call this, did I call that concept? I need to call this concept. I just don't want to be looking at any other layers, and I need to have things organized. And I'm going to call this sketches. So I have my sketches, my concept, and my base. And then I'm going to start clipping things to this badge base. So let's go ahead and add our Saturn, our planet. Okay, so I'm going to grab my ellipse tool. I'm going to grab probably a darker purple for now. Let's go ahead and grab a darker purple. And I'm going to hold shift while I, you know, resize this, kind of drag out this ellipse so that it adheres to like a perfect circle. And I'm going to throw that right in there. I'm going to kind of figure out what's the best way to do this. Let's go ahead and clip that to the group. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good, I think, and I might need to noodle with it just a little bit more. Maybe I'll make it slightly smaller, so I'll hold shift and resize, or maybe not. There we go. I think it needs to come down here just a little bit more. Maybe not. That works for me, for now. And then also clipped, we'll make another layer. I'm going to come in with my brush, and I'm just going to kind of do, honestly, maybe I don't have to use a brush. Maybe I can use another ellipse. Here we go. First of all, let me change, I'm going to change this to a slightly different color. Maybe this bright color, just something, no, let's change it to, I don't think I can't see it well when it's so dark like that. We can use this. Okay. I'm gonna grab another ellipse, actually. And I'm gonna drag this out like so. And I'm gonna turn the fill off of it. And then I'm gonna put a stroke on it. Okay, and I'm going to use a mask to kind of make this look like the ring that we need, just to get a base, a good base going. And it needs to be brighter. Oh, this is clipped. Let's unclip this. Release clipping mask. Oops. So that I don't have to like freehand draw a nice ring. We can do something like that. I think that I will make the stroke a little larger. Even larger. Boom. That's a good base. So I am going to select, if I hold control and I click that ellipse there, it will select everything that is on that layer. And then here with my lasso tool, I'm gonna come in and unselect the things that I don't want to be masked. So I definitely want this ring masked so that it looks like it goes behind our planet here, but I don't want this front part to be masked. So I'm gonna go ahead and hold Alt and subtract from that. So all of that will be masked. We will also, let's start from there. We'll go ahead and, actually I need to select inverse, and we'll go ahead and mask. Boom, see, it looks like it goes around, okay? And then I will also hold control and select our triangle here. And I will remove this, oops, remove that, and I will add this, and we will use our brush to mask out this edge over here. So let's grab B. I might need to select inverse. Select inverse. Make sure I have my brush selected. Make it a little bit bigger. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to just brush that out. And I can deselect, and now we've got kind of a Saturn ring in here. But what I may do is select this and resize, just so that that ring kind of comes out a little bit more. I might need to make sure I have, let's see. I'm gonna convert this to smart object. Convert to smart object, and then clip it just so I can resize everything. Can you guys see my thinking face? My angry, my angry thinking face as I'm figuring out exactly how I'm gonna do this. Okay, I'm resizing. Oh no, there it goes. Okay, it's kind of doing what I want it to do. I just didn't want it to get, to kind of lose the shape of my mask there. And I could rotate it a little bit. There we go. And then I'm just gonna need to alter my mask here. I don't know if that's a bad tangent with the corner there, but that's okay. We can noodle with this. I'm gonna grab B, and I'm just gonna straight up, there we go. Just draw that out. And I am getting some overlap where you can't see like the edge of my, my border here, but I can always make an outline and like place a border over top later when I want to. Look out, purple people eating planet. Yes, you can unlink the mask to avoid scaling it. Yes. Working with shapes in Photoshop is much harder than Illustrator. Adnan, I think it kind of depends on how comfortable you are in either program. Every once in a while, I run in, you know, like I have a moment like I just had where I'm like, wait a second, what am I doing? But I think that happens to everybody. I think that happens to all designers. Personally, I can't do what I can do in Photoshop in Illustrator because Illustrator really just does not come very naturally to me. But that's not the case for everybody. You know, I am definitely 100% a Photoshop kind of designer. Photoshop is my favorite to design in, and that's kind of all I want to be working in. Why? Oh, there we go. But other people would have a much easier time in Illustrator than in Photoshop, because that's just, you know, their go-to. I am attempting to alter our Saturn ring here. Let's go ahead in with our pink. And I also think there's a lot of ways to do what I'm doing right now. And I think for a lot of people that probably this process probably wouldn't include painting the way I am. But as I said, I'm an illustrator before anything else. That's my main bread and butter. And so I'm a whole heck of a lot more comfortable editing with a brush than coming through with the pen tool and subtracting, or with a, you know, with a selection tool like the lasso tool and doing it that way, you know? Everybody's a little different. Everyone has kind of a different process. Okay, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna leave it like that. I think that works for me, and I'm gonna come in later and add a little bit more stuff. Like this is a little bit wonky here. Maybe I can just kind of trim just the very edge here on this, and then I will leave it alone so that we can kind of get into using our colors and stuff. So I'm not, if you guys weren't here, if I was all by myself, I might spend 15 minutes agonizing over this little teeny tiny piece, but I'm trying not to do that while I broadcast so that it's easier to watch. But that happens, right? I think everybody has the little things in their creative life that they noodle with. Okay, so we've got our Saturn ring. I think it might even be cooler if we added, can I paint directly on this? Yes. I am also going to make this slightly wider real quick, just to get a little bit of, yeah, so just a little wider on this end. Boom. So then it gets smaller back here, it gets wider here as it's close to the screen, and I think that looks good. Awesome. Now we need our comets to follow this direction that our Saturn ring has. I might do... didn't I just promise that I wasn't going to noodle with this again? Wasn't I just like, hey, I'm on stream, so I won't do it, but now I keep looking at it. Show of hands in the chat, how many people promise yourself you're not going to spend any more time on something, and then 5 minutes later you realize that you've lied to yourself? I'll raise my hand. Okay. One more stroke, and then we're good. Oops. Wrong. Okay. No more Val. No more. No more. Okay. Let's put in our comments. Let's do it. I do that every stream. Yeah, right? And I'm just like, Val, you're on Adobe Live, and you made a promise, and you gotta stop. And I'm like, but what if I noodled with it for just 2 more seconds? I'm not satisfied. All right, now I'm going to make us some comets, and I'm going to do this like a quick way, and I'm just going to grab this triangle tool, and I'm gonna draw like a long triangle out, okay? And I'm gonna round one of these edges. So let's see. I kind of want, hold on. That didn't do what I wanted it to do. Can I not resize? Hello? I want to round, yeah, there we go. Oh, well, I have to round all the corners at once. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to use this as a base, and I'm gonna paint on top of it and make us a comet the way I want. So I'm gonna make that skinny, and I'm going to make this darker. Let's make this like a very dark purple. And then I'm just gonna rasterize this. I noticed I didn't actually have to check, like come in here and say rasterize. If you have a file that is not, or a layer that's not a rasterized layer, and you click anywhere on that layer with your brush or your eraser tool, it'll prompt you. It'll be like, you can't do this unless you rasterize this layer. Do you want to do that? And then you can just hit OK. So sometimes I just hit E or B on my keyboard to access my eraser or brush and just do a little tap. And it saves me the time of having to go through my my layer settings there. And then I'm going to come in with this color, and I'm just going to round this. Let me turn the smoothing down. And I'm just going to round that. And then I'm going to erase from the side of it. And we're just, you know, making a comet shape. And it's not extra clean, but as I said, I am trying my best, believe it or not, to not noodle with things for so long that it is tedious to watch. Okay, I think this is a good angle for this. It's not 100% along with this edge of the Saturn ring, and it's not 100% along with this edge of the Saturn ring, but it kind of fits in the middle there, which I think because that ring is kind of a unique shape, that this is fine, because it's kind of pointing in the same direction. And now let's look at our concept. So our concept has 5 comets. So I am going to, how are we doing on time? Okay, we're doing good. Got about 20 minutes left. I'm going to, now that I have this shape, I'm actually going to convert it to Smart Object, just so I can resize properly. I'm going to go ahead and boom, go like that. We'll put this here overlapping the planet. I like. We'll duplicate it, and we will put another one over here, just slightly smaller. Okay, right there, maybe a little bit closer. Duplicate it, and we will throw this one up here. Make it a tiny bit bigger. Boom. Bring it in. Maybe it doesn't need to be bigger. Maybe we'll bring it in like that. And we will drag this one out there. Or maybe this one will come out farther. I don't know. Actually, I think that should be in and this one should be out. And then we'll duplicate it and we'll throw one over here, and this one is going to be smaller. Boom. I might noodle with the positioning of this just a little bit, but I think that's good for now. And then we'll make a little baby one. And he's going to be right here, and you won't be able to see him for a second, but we're going to change his color. Maybe we'll just do it with hue and saturation real quick just so we can see it. I'll turn the lightness up on that. And we'll turn the saturation up on that. Boom, boom. So we got a little baby comet kind of coming out from behind the planet there. It's not 100% exactly identical to how the concept is, but I think it works. So we got our comets in. Very cool. If I pick it up and get stuck, I'll ask him. The motivation definitely comes from having a project purpose to learn software from. Same was the case for 3D. Oh, I think I'm missing a great conversation. Steve, I did that today on a small project for a friend. Yeah, Patrick. I came back to see how the badges turn out. Hello, AIM. Welcome in. Welcome in. A lot of people saying I do that all the time. I'm doing that right now. I'm assuming this is hearkening back to the, do you ever lie to yourself when you say I'm not going to work on this anymore, and then you do? And then you overwork and wreck it. Yeah. Forcing myself to learn more AI, says Steve Festus Cosboom. Amazing. Sam says, yeah, I always try to be open when the work calls for it. Recently picked XD back up for a project and was thinking it might be worth picking AI back up to vectorize the icons I made. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's put our numbers. We're gonna go to Adobe Fonts and we're gonna find like a futuristic font. Fonts.adobe.com. Let's see what we got, shall we, folks? Let's pop this over here. And let's go to all fonts. We're gonna hunt through their amazing, super cool font tools here. I'm gonna pop over here just so that I'm not hiding too much on the side there. And we're gonna go to futuristic. There's literally one called futuristic, like a category. And so we're gonna scroll through here and see what we can find. I think I have ethnocentric, and ethnocentric might work. I do want to kind of peek at the numbers though, because I kind of want a 0 with a slash through it, but I don't know if we have that. Oh, the numbers are small. I don't know. I could also put a slash through it. I don't have to find one that's got a slash through it. I can make that happen. This is kind of cool though. BD Geminis. Okay. All right. I like it. Let's see. We might do this. Let's use this one. I'm gonna go ahead and activate that font. Okay. Thank you. Let's use this one. And let's see what that gets us. BD Geminis. And I'm gonna come down here behind our planet. Okay. Make myself a text layer. Boom. My sound effects sometimes. Okay. Let us, I'm gonna flip over here back to the left side so I'm not covering up my layers. And let's go to BD Geminis. I like this font for this. I'm gonna link this to you real quick. I'm gonna link this right in the chat. There you go. There you go. Cause it's cool. Okay. We are going to do like a 07. And it has the slash! It has the slash through it. Oh my gosh. This is perfect. 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 Okay. Now let's find a good position for this. We got our 7, got our 0. I could not ask for a better font for this project. I really couldn't. Boom, there we go. And it's kind of overlapping with our comet here, but I like that because we have an overlap here. I'm gonna move the comet down just slightly. What are we doing on time? Okay, we still have more than 10 minutes. We are gonna finish this whole thing. Bake, what's up, man? Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay, so we've got our, oof. Can we just have a moment of silence for how perfect this font is for this project? This is just choice. Okay, so we've got our 7. I'm going to hit V on my keyboard to access my move tool, and I'm gonna overlap this comet for real, like really have kind of an overlap there. And we're gonna change where the comet overlaps the 7, we're gonna change the color to a little bit lighter. So we've got this. Now we need to clip. Let me see, let me make sure that this, okay, that's in the badge base. That's perfect. We need to make sure that everything is kind of clipping properly to this. So let's, I think we need, actually we can put this directly in the badge. So I'm just going to grab another ellipse tool, or not ellipse, a rectangle tool. I'm gonna put another, put like a cap here, and we're going to clipping mask, and make sure that the 7 is clipped too. Clipping mask, where are you? Come on. I'll convert it to smart object because I can edit it later. Clipping mask, boom. Okay. And it does have like a little bit of space there. I think that that's fine. We'll figure it out. And then I'm just gonna come up above everything and I'm gonna go ahead and click here and we're gonna say USS Destiny. I think I need to caps that. Oh, maybe not. Okay. Perfection. Let's turn this to a bright color. Let's make this like our bright, boom. And let's drag this and kind of align it right here. Ta-da! And then we are starting to kind of run out of time here, so I want to jump into adding our colors just to really solidify this. So we've got some pretty cool stuff going on here. I think that this is pretty excellent. And we, real quick, are going to, oh, I wanted to throw some designs on the planet itself, like some wiggly designs. I don't know if we'll have time for that. Let's go through and let's change all these colors real quick. Let's pick a color palette. I kind of feel like using this one with the reds. And I'm thinking we change the background to blue. What color is Jupiter? Or not, or Saturn, Jupiter. What color is Saturn? It's kind of a tannish blue color. Okay, so we could, you know, maybe add some of this orange in there and kind of fade it up to blue. I'm not sure. But let's just start throwing stuff in here. Okay, I'm going to select this. And I'm going to convert that to smart object real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and put a color, like do a color overlay. Can I, let me select this color, boom. Let's select this tan color, and then let's duplicate that, and color overlay, let's select that. Okay, so we've got like this orange color. Because, I mean, Saturn's ring, it's like a weird tannish color, but we're going to do what we want because we're the masters of this realm. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to choose a brighter color, and we're going to, let's do like a tanner color, maybe, for Saturn itself. Why did that not, oh, There we go. Let me go ahead and fill that with something tan. Don't know if I like that, but it's okay. We are going to, maybe we could convert that to a smart object, and then, no, we'll rasterize it, and I'm gonna lock transparency, and really quick with my brush, I'm gonna scribble in some texture so it looks like a planet. How are we doing on time? Okay, we're okay. I think I'm gonna try not, I mean, I'm rushing it, so I guess I can't say I'm gonna try not to rush it, but I am gonna try to do this as well as I can in the short amount of time we got. So let me come over here, let's grab some of this blue, and let's put some blue in here. I'm gonna just scribble, scribble, scribble. And should we add some red? I don't know if we can add some red. Just a little bit. I don't know. It's not 100% how Jupiter looks, but I think that, or Saturn. I keep saying Jupiter. I know what planets are, guys, but I think that this will still be cool. So let's turn the flow down on this soft brush, and let's grab this tan, and I'm just gonna put like a very soft paint over there, just so that it, you know, it looks like a planet. And I'm going to, can I rotate it? Yeah. We'll rotate it. Oops. I just want to rotate it a little bit so that it, the texture I added goes with the thing there. Okay, how are we doing on time? We got a handful of minutes. Let's come through and change these. Okay, let's change this to, should we make the background blue? I think we're gonna make the background blue. Let's change it to that color. Let's do a darker color. There we go. Let's change this. Let me grab my, let's change that to this color. I don't know, we might end up having to really noodle with these. Let's change this one to that color, and let's change this back to something brighter. Can we have something brighter than this? I'm just gonna, this color here needs to be different. Let's click that, and let's change that to something a little more saturated. There we go. That looks a little more dynamic. There we go. Let's change our numbers to something very bright, something like close to maybe a red. I don't know. I'm not sure really how I feel about the colors that I've chosen. We don't really have a lot of time to change, but I think you can see where it's going. I think it definitely needs some love in the color department, for sure. But I think you can see where it's going. Let's group all of our comets, or at least most of our comets, these, and let's group those, and then let's clip a layer to that, and let's make these red. I don't know if we make them red. I don't think they need to be red. I don't really like, you know, I think we need some more time to like really focus on the colors that we're choosing here. So I might like kind of back out, but I think overall for this project, we have really set up a pretty nice layout and everything for it. And I think what I'm gonna do is, instead of trying to rush and complete all of these colors and things, we're just gonna go with what we got here. So I'm just gonna leave it purple for now, because we also have to do our achievements, and I definitely do not want to forget about our achievements that we've got to do today, because that is very important. Let me turn that color overlay off. We're gonna leave it like this. And I think that this is okay for now. We can always come back after the fact and finish up all of our fine details. But I'm gonna close the concept, and I think I'm proud of this. Like I said, I think it needs more color, and I think it needs a little more love. But while it's purple, I think you can still like see where I'm going with it, and I'm pretty pleased. So I'm gonna come over here to my achievements and our final few minutes that we have left, and I'm going to show you folks how I use my achievements page. Now if you decide that you want to do this, you do not have to show this to anybody, but I'm going to do mine in front of you so that you folks who are maybe new to the show can see what I mean when I say we award ourselves points and why we're going to do it. So in the illustration department, I feel like most of today was graphic design. I don't know that I would award myself any achievement points for illustration, but I am definitely going to give myself a point in the graphic design department. And the reason why I'm going to add a point there is because I feel like I really adhered to my goals, or most of them anyways. I feel like I did get the practice and things that I needed to get in as far as becoming more comfortable with designing with simple shapes. And I had a few hiccups there where I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to align things and how I was going to design things. And I got a little bit nervous, but I feel like I still ended up with a really nice start of a piece, which I'm going to finish. So I feel like I can put a point into graphic design very confidently, trying something that made me a little frightened, and still doing it on stream even though I was a little unsure. And I'm gonna give myself a second one too, because I think I've only designed one other badge aside from this, so this was like really doing things that I don't normally do at all. And I don't know if I would add anything into presentation, because I feel like I don't have like a presentation lined up for this, but I am gonna finish this piece. I am gonna come back to it and kind of add the colors that I want, experiment with that. I'm going to create like a nice textured background and make a really nice post so that I can share it with you folks. So I think I'll be revisiting my achievements page after this to put some points into presentation, and maybe I'll animate it. We don't have any points in animation or video editing, so maybe I will animate and have some things moving around, but I'll post updates for you later. But yeah, so those are where I'm putting points in for now. Maybe not as many points as previous episodes, but I don't think it matters how many. We're not doing a competition here. We are just trying to give ourselves points where points are due, and I do think I got out of my comfort zone a little bit for this, and I deserve to acknowledge that in myself. So that is all the time I have for you today. I do not want to get cut off. I really have to take off before they shut me down here. But I hope that you folks enjoyed these episodes this week. I had a blast. I really would love to see if you folks worked along with me. So please send me any pieces that you make if you would like to, and I will see you folks actually right after this, because I'm going to be modding for How To with Claudie, which you should stay tuned for because it's an awesome show. So thank you everyone, much love, and I will see you soon.